Picture this. Marcus sits across from you at dinner, laughing, telling stories, radiating confidence. Everyone at the table gravitates toward his energy, his certainty, his seemingly unshakable presence. He's the guy who has it all figured out. But 3 nights ago, Marcus stood in his bathroom at 2 a.m., staring at his reflection, feeling like his chest was caving in. The weight of everything he's been carrying crashed down on him in that moment, and he broke down completely, alone, in the dark. Nobody knows. Nobody will ever know, because Marcus learned something most people never understand. Strength has a shadow cost that nobody talks about. You've been taught that opening up heals you, that vulnerability equals courage, that sharing your pain creates connection. Society feeds you this narrative constantly through every self-help book and motivational speech. But what if the strongest people in your life discovered something darker? They learned that silence becomes armor when the world punishes emotional honesty. Your brain develops patterns based on consequences, not ideals. It remembers every single time you opened up and got burned. When Sarah told her friends about her anxiety, they started treating her differently overnight, checking in constantly, speaking softer, looking at her with that particular kind of pity that strips away your dignity. She became the fragile one in every conversation. Her confidence got redefined by their perception, not her reality. The dynamic shifted so subtly, yet so completely, that she couldn't even pinpoint when it happened. She was no longer an equal in her own friendships. So she stopped sharing, and paradoxically, her inner strength grew in the silence. She learned to process her struggles privately, building resilience nobody could see. Here's what happens in your mind when you choose silence over expression. Your prefrontal cortex, the part handling emotional regulation, starts building alternative processing pathways. You develop what psychologists call emotional compartmentalization. Pain doesn't disappear when you bottle it up. It transforms into something else entirely, something potentially more useful. Your brain converts raw emotion into analytical understanding, turning suffering into strategic thinking. Think about Jake, who went through a brutal breakup that shattered his sense of self completely. His buddies kept asking if he was okay, expecting him to fall apart. He smiled every time and said, "Yeah, man, all good." But alone, at night, he processed everything in isolation. The rejection, the doubt, the worthlessness creeping in like fog through every corner of his mind. He dissected his pain like a scientist examining a specimen. He never performed his healing for an audience. 6 months later, Jake had rebuilt himself completely. New habits, new thinking patterns, new unshakable confidence. His friends never saw the transformation happen because they never witnessed the wound. That's the invisible architecture of resilience the world doesn't understand. You bottle it, refine it in darkness, and emerge as someone fundamentally different. But the process remains hidden, making your strength seem effortless to everyone watching. There's a price, though. Always a price. Your brain starts automatically categorizing people into those who can handle reality and those who can't. You develop a filtering system without even realizing it's happening. Every interaction gets processed through this lens. Can this person handle the truth of who I am? Most of the time, your brain answers no. Relationships become performances where you're always playing the stable one, the rock, the person who doesn't break, the one everyone leans on. Attraction dynamics shift in ways you can't fully articulate, but definitely feel.
People gravitate toward your strength, but never touch your depths. They want the benefits of your stability without the complexity of your humanity. Emily became the friend everyone called during their crisis, but nobody ever asked about hers. Her psychology adapted to this reality. Her emotions learned to live in a locked room with soundproof wall. Communication became strategic rather than authentic. Every conversation carefully calculated. The strongest people you know are carrying invisible weight that would crush most others within days. They've calculated, consciously or unconsciously, that revealing pain costs more than containing it. Your mind makes these calculations constantly. Risk versus reward, exposure versus protection. Society celebrates vulnerability in theory, but punishes it in practice. Your boss respects strength and questions your competence the moment you show struggle. Your romantic interests desire confidence and lose attraction when you reveal insecurity. Your friends want stability, not the complexity of your actual inner world. Show them your breaking points and watch how quickly the dynamics change. The shift happens so fast, it takes your breath away. So you master the art of silent endurance because you have no other choice. You transmute suffering into philosophy, pain into perspective, chaos into calm. It becomes your superpower and your curse simultaneously. But here's what nobody tells you about walking this path. This transformation creates a permanent distance between you and everyone else. You become unreachable, even when you're standing right there in the same room. People sense something behind your eyes they can't access. A depth they'll never understand because you won't let them, because you can't let them. The gap between your inner reality and your outer presentation grows wider every day. Consider David, who lost his brother 2 years ago in a sudden accident. He showed up to work the next week like nothing happened, maintaining his usual productivity. Colleagues whispered about his coldness, his apparent lack of emotion. But David wasn't cold. He was processing grief in a language they didn't speak. His brain chose isolation over the pain of misunderstanding, because when he tried to explain the emptiness to one close friend, they offered hollow platitudes. Time heals everything. He's in a better place now. Stay strong for your family. Words that meant nothing. Words that made the pain sharper by trivializing it. So silence became his sanctuary, his only safe space. Your emotions don't vanish when you stop expressing them to others. They reorganize internally. They find new channels. They transform into different forms of energy. Some become relentless drive. Some become hard-earned wisdom. Some become creative expression. But some become walls you can't tear down, even when you desperately want to. Rachel built such a fortress around her feelings over the years that when she finally met someone who genuinely wanted to know her, she couldn't open the gates. The mechanisms designed to protect her had become her prison. The question becomes, are you protecting yourself or slowly imprisoning yourself? Because strength built entirely on silence eventually forgets how to ask for connection. Your brain rewires around independence until any form of dependence feels like an unbearable weakness. Asking for help becomes impossible. Admitting struggle becomes foreign to your identity. You've trained yourself so well to endure alone that you've forgotten how to receive support. The skill of vulnerability atrophies like an unused muscle. And here's the darkest irony of this whole dynamic. The people who seem the strongest, the most put together, are often the closest to their edge. They've just learned to walk it without looking down, without showing the tremble in their hands. Think about how many strong people shocked everyone when they finally broke publicly. Nobody saw it coming because nobody was allowed to see the cracks forming beneath the surface. The warnings were there, just hidden behind practiced smiles.
Your silence might be your power. It might be what got you through impossible situations. It might be the reason you're still standing when others fell apart. But you need to distinguish between strategic restraint and emotional shutdown. One is wisdom earned through experience. The other is slow disconnection from your own humanity. The line between them is thinner than you think and easier to cross than you realize. Here's what happens in your brain when silent strength becomes isolation. The neural pathways associated with emotional expression literally weaken from disuse. Your ability to identify and communicate feelings diminishes, not because you're becoming stronger, but because you're becoming numb. Meanwhile, your stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, remain elevated because unexpressed emotion still lives in your body. Your mind might have compartmentalized the pain, but your nervous system remembers everything. The body keeps the score, even when the mind pretends it doesn't. You start experiencing what psychologists call emotional anesthesia. Colors seem less vibrant, music moves you less, joy feels muted alongside the pain you're suppressing. You can't selectively numb. When you shut down the difficult emotions, you dim all of them. Brandon noticed this happening gradually over 3 years. He'd become so good at suppressing pain that he stopped feeling much of anything. Success felt empty. Achievements felt hollow. Relationships felt like obligations rather than connections. The strength he'd built through silence had cost him his ability to experience life fully. He was functioning, surviving, succeeding by external measures, but internally he was becoming a ghost. And the terrifying part was how normal it started to feel. Your mind creates stories to justify the isolation. I'm just independent. I don't need anyone. Other people are too weak to understand. These narratives protect your ego, while your actual self slowly starves for genuine connection. The strongest people know their pain intimately. They've mapped every corner of it in private. They just choose very carefully who gets to witness it, if anyone at all. And sometimes that selectivity transforms into total lockdown without you noticing the shift. There's a middle path most people miss entirely. You can be strong without being silent, resilient without being isolated. It requires finding people who've earned access to your depth through consistent proof of their capacity to handle it. Not everyone deserves your vulnerability, but someone does. Not everyone can hold your pain, but somebody can. The skill is discernment, not total withdrawal from authentic connection. Your strength becomes truly powerful when it includes the ability to be selectively open, when you can be the rock for others while also knowing when to let someone be a rock for you. This balance is rare, but it's the only sustainable form of resilience. Because here's the truth, the silence that protects you at 20 might destroy you at 40. The walls that got you through one chapter become the barriers that prevent you from living the next. Evolution requires recognizing when your survival mechanisms outlive their usefulness. The bravest thing you might ever do isn't enduring alone. It's letting one person in
before your strength becomes the very thing that isolates you from being human, before the armor fuses to your skin so completely you can't remove it. Marcus still sits at dinners radiating confidence, still carries himself with that unshakable presence. But now he has one friend who knows about those 2 a.m. bathroom moments. Just one person who's seen behind the performance. And that single connection didn't make him weaker. It made his strength real, instead of just a facade built on fear. Your pain doesn't need an audience, but it does need acknowledgement, even if only to yourself and one trusted soul who's earned the right to witness your humanity.